Hey, what's up guys? I just picked up this Coleman 36 quart performance cooler on Amazon for about 20 bucks. If you're like me, I got kind of tired of the expensive coolers out there, Yeti, Arctic, etc. Also, they're really heavy, so I just wanted to try something a little cheaper. Usually what I do is I'll go out camping for maybe 3 days at a time, and that's it. And this cooler claims to be able to hold ice for up to 3 days. So I'm just gonna test it out here for you guys. And yeah, I'm just gonna point out a couple things about this cooler before I start my test. Yeti and some of the other roto-molded coolers out there of similar size can weigh 20 plus pounds empty. This cooler weighs about 1 pound empty, so that's a big difference if you're loading it in and out of a car or a boat or whatever. Yeti and some of the others may be more durable, but I'm not going fishing in a hurricane or anything. I'm just going camping for the weekend, so I think this should be plenty for me. Also, something else to point out, it's really just 2 pieces of plastic. There's the cooler and the lid. There's no hinge on the lid, unfortunately, but there's literally nothing to break on this cooler, and the lid comes on and off pretty easily. You have these handles molded in on the side, nothing to come off or anything. Unfortunately, there's no drain, but since it's so light, it's easy enough to just pick up and pour out the water. So, all right, so what I did here is I pre-chilled a bunch of stuff from my fridge, just random cans and bottles. I'm gonna throw some ice in here and leave it in there and see how long it lasts. All right, so I've got my ice in here. Just basically filled it up with all the ice from my freezer ice maker. It's not a ton of ice, but it's quite a bit. Like I said, everything's pre-chilled, so we'll see how it lasts. I'll come back in 1 day and give an update. All right, guys, it's been almost exactly 24 hours. I'm gonna open up the cooler and see how much ice is left. It's just been sitting here in my house. It's been about 70 degrees. I haven't opened it up at all since I put everything in there yesterday. So here we go. All right, looks like we got a little bit of ice left. Everything's still cold, so I'm gonna come back in another 24 hours and see what we have. All right, guys, so I'm here 24 hours later. So it's been about 48 hours since I put everything with the ice in the cooler. And we're gonna open it up and see what we got. As you can see, all the ice is melted. Things in here are still cold, pretty cold. The water is cold. So I would say, if you're just going out for the day to the beach or to the lake, then this cooler is an obvious, good choice over something like Yeti or Arctic, etc. But if you're going for a longer trip, somewhere 2 or 3 days where you're not going to have the opportunity to buy more ice, then maybe you want to look at something a little more high-end. Obviously there's a lot of variables in cooler tests. I could have probably put more ice in here. I could have probably put it outside in a more representative environment. But this is just to give you guys a general idea of what to expect, and hopefully it was helpful.